My name is Sophie Deutschman, and today I'll be chatting at you about mental health. Statistics from the National Institute of Mental Health show that mental illnesses are very common in the United States. Tens of millions of people are affected by mental illnesses each year, but only around half of them actually get treated. COVID-19 has affected lots of individuals since it was declared a global health emergency in January of 2020. And people have been affected financially, physically, emotionally from COVID-19, and mental illnesses can be caused by a range of things, including stress, recent life changes, traumatic experiences, and medical problems. With people being stuck inside because of COVID or isolated from loved ones, there's been an increase in mental illnesses. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has a list of healthy ways to cope with stress and prevent your mental health from deteriorating. And they include stuff like meditating, getting plenty of sleep, and finding a relaxing hobby. Sometimes people need more than helpful suggestions to cope with their struggles and anxiety. And I know that when I'm dealing with stuff, talking to a non-biased outside perspective really helps me to understand what I'm going through. And this is when therapy becomes a great option for individuals. Luckily, students at the University of Northern Colorado are offered free counseling sessions. Unfortunately, these sessions are only available remotely now because of COVID-19 restrictions, but they would have been available at the counseling center located on the second floor of Cassidy Hall before COVID-19. Personally, I would much rather meet with a therapist in person and talk about my feelings rather than feeling trapped in a room talking to a head on a computer, but people who live with roommates also have to deal with the extra stress of not trying to be overheard when talking about their problems or intimate emotions. And junior psychology major at UNC, Allison Minniter, came on to talk about her opinions on mental health during COVID-19.
I do believe that mental health has been negatively affected by COVID through the inability to see people face to face, to hug other people, to give handshakes at interviews, and it's been really hard for me personally, and not being able to see other people smile. Generally speaking, I do believe that COVID has made us all feel a little bit more lonely.
So getting down to the nitty-gritty of the point I'm trying to make here, the UNC football team is continuing to practice in person, and so is the basketball team. And I know that they have varying schedules so that it's less dangerous than it could be, but these double standards really make it apparent that UNC is prioritizing sports instead of mental health. People want to go back to normal so bad that they're opening things up with mask requirements and restrictions, but the counseling center remains remote. And if they can open up sports, why can't they open up in-person counseling? They could easily fit 2 people in a room 6 feet apart while wearing masks. They could sanitize the chairs after every use, do temperature checks before actually going into the appointments, and obviously require mask wearing. If UNC doesn't want to spread the message that sports are more important than the mental health of their students, then they need to open back up in-person counseling. The underlying message I get from sports being open but therapy being remote is that UNC cares more about making money than making sure their students are happy and healthy. And by UNC, I mean whoever's making these executive decisions. Andy Feinstein, probably. But regardless, I get that watching sports from a television is not as exciting as hearing the grunt of bodies going down in the dirt and the stench of sweat filling the air, but the same can be said for virtual therapy, obviously besides the bodies and the sweat. But there's something way more helpful about genuine human in-person connection rather than just trying to be connected over a piece of technology. Reporting for Bear Voice, I'm Sophie Deutschman.